Hare Krishna. Well, thank you very much for coming. Alexis, who's that Mataji there?
She's my friend.
So she can sit with us.
Okay.
Everybody is allowed here. This is not that Hindu mandir.
Okay.
This is Hare Krishna mandir. Yes, we are reading from the book A Second Chance because many people want to read the Bhagavad and they say it's very philosophical and difficult to understand. So I decided let's do something which is about the Bhagavad and it's easier to understand that way. So this is from the 6th canto. Matemba, you should have done that earlier. This is second chapter and second chapter, second topic in that chapter. Spiritual affection and variety. Now because Prabhupada has made it super easy to understand, I will read and try to explain wherever required. Parental affection in this material world is a perverted reflection of the parental affection in the spiritual world, where it is found in its pure original form. Everything originates with the transcendental reality. As stated in the Vedanta Sutra 1.1.2, Janmadhyasya yataha, the supreme absolute truth is that from which everything emanates. If the affection between a child and his parent did not exist in the absolute truth, it could not exist in the material world. Yes, we have heard this many times. We have heard this many times that this material world that we are seeing is a reflection of the spiritual world. So whatever is there when we go in front of the mirror, whatever is on us, we can see clearly. So exactly Prabhupada is trying to explain to us in the last line. If affection between child and his parent did not exist in the spiritual world where the Lord resides, it could not exist here. It's not that we go in front of the mirror and the mirror has an extra flower on our head if we do not have it. So it is exactly as it is just perverted. We will get to the detail about perverted reflection. Since the absolute truth is the source of everything, whatever varieties we see here in this material world are simply reflections of the varieties in the spiritual world. If the absolute truth were without variety, then where all these varieties have come from? No, the absolute truth is not impersonal, nirakar, or without variety, nirvishesha. We always, because there is a lot of confusion between God having form and God not having form. There's so much, and Prabhupada is further explaining in the next verse how some people they see that we have this material body. Just taking example of my own body, there's so much pain in my back, in my neck, I have heart problem, I have diabetes, I have blood pressure, I have this, I have that. So God should not have all these things. So God does not have a form. That's simple logic they apply. But Prabhupada is saying, no, God has a form, but it is not like us. It is not like our form, which is like so much painful and so much suffering. Let's read ahead. Chandra Prabhu, please help me.
Still, some persons called Mayavadis are so disappointed.
Okay, you're right. You want glasses?
Okay. Are so disappointed and frustrated with the imperfect varieties of this material world that they imagine the spiritual world to be impersonal and without variety. These impersonalists realize that they are Brahman.
It's you can stand near the TV.
Or spirit, but they do not know that there are innumerable planets in the Brahmajyoti, or spiritual atmosphere. They think that the Brahmajyoti itself is all in all. The impersonalists have no information of the Vaikuntha planets, and due to their imperfect knowledge, they again come down to these material planets, as said in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2.32.
येन अरविंद विमुक्ति मानिना तव अवशुद्ध बुद्धया आरुह्य कृच्छेन परम पदम तथा पतन्ति अधोडान युजुस. Oh, my Sanskrit is as bad as my Hindi.
Although impersonalists are almost liberated, still, on account of their negligence of the lotus feet of Krishna, their intelligence is not yet purified. Thus, despite performing severe austerities to rise up the platform of Brahman, they must fall down again to this material world.
Yes, I just explained the same thing earlier. How because we have this form and it is temporary and painful and it's full of misery, suffering. So the impersonalists come up with God does not have a form. Because if God has form, God will have to suffer like us. So Prabhupada is saying that they are impersonalists, the people who think God is not a person. They come so close to becoming liberated. But because they don't have proper information about who God is or how God is, they again fall back to doing good works, opening hospitals, etc. etc. Okay, today's topic is over. I mean, it was so small, I don't know. We have 20 minutes, let's go ahead. Spiritual form and spiritual pastimes. Chisukananda Prabhu, please help me.
The impersonalist philosophers cannot differentiate between activities in the material world and similar activities in the spiritual world, nor do they differentiate between the material form and God's form. They are convinced that the impersonal Brahmajyoti, the spiritual effulgence emanating from the Lord's body, is the supreme absolute truth. The Mayavadis mistakenly assume that when God appears, he accepts a material body. Just as we have taken this material form in the material world. That kind of thinking is impersonalism or Mayavad philosophy.
Yes. When Prabhupada took his Western disciples to India first time, and Prabhupada is, if you read any of Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada is bashing the Mayavadis so many times. We ourselves don't know what Mayavad is technically, unless we understand Prabhupada's books. So the Western disciples of Prabhupada were telling Prabhupada, "Oh Prabhupada, people are supporting us so nicely, and you're saying these people are all Mayavadis and all. How come?" So Prabhupada said, if you just scratch the top of Hinduism, underneath there everything is Mayavad. Mayavad means God does not have a form. Mayavad means same God has many forms. So you worship this, you worship that, whatever you worship is all supreme. That's Mayavad, which is impersonal. Person means one person. Impersonal means many persons or no persons. And that's when the Westerners understood what Mayavad is. Mayavad is very deeply rooted in our Indian culture because of no proper understanding of the Bhagavad Gita, which is our scripture. I was like everybody is wasting time. I am also wasting time watching reels and one reel popped up which said some big Hindu pravakta, he's saying the Christians have their Bible, the Muslims have their Quran. We have a whole library. And everybody went, yeah. And I'm thinking, nobody has read any book from the library. But this is Indian culture. We have done from the beginning of our childhood. I know everything. Even if I have not read, even if I have not understood, I know everything. मेरे को सब पता है. मैं वो तो खबर से मैंने सीखा. That's why we see very few Indians coming to the temple, especially the Hare Krishna temple, because Prabhupada always said these temples are not just for darshan. They are like universities. Here you learn about Krishna. Here you learn about God. ये घंटा मार के ऐसा वो हिंदी में बोलते मत्था टेक के नहीं जाना है, सीखना है कुछ तभी. But Indian problem by birth, I'm not blaming anybody. मैंने बद्दू आवरज, मेरे को सब आता है. और जब मेरे को सब आता है तो मुझे सुनने की क्या जरूरत है क्या नहीं? है क्या नहीं आंटी? The problem, Indian problem is I know everything. And I know everything is basically coming from impersonalism, Mayavad. Because everything is one, तो क्या है? किसको भी जाके मत्था टेको, सेम ही है. And Prabhupada gives very nice analogy of this. किसको भी जाके मत्था टेको. He says, अगर आप कलकत्ता जाने की ट्रेन में बैठे हैं बॉम्बे से, तो आप ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते हाँ मैं दिल्ली पहुंचने वाला हूँ. नहीं, आप कलकत्ता की ट्रेन में बैठे हो तो कलकत्ता पहुंचोगे. दिल्ली की ट्रेन में बैठे हो तो दिल्ली पहुंचोगे. तो सब कुछ एक नहीं है और हमें ये ज्ञात नहीं है कि सब कुछ, हमें लगे सब कुछ एक है. विष्णु एक है, शिव जी एक है, गणेश जी एक है. अभी 10 दिन बाद जन्माष्टमी आएंगी, सब कृष्ण के गीत आप हर एक रील पे दिखेंगे. गोविंदा आला रे 1 2 3. उसके 15 दिन बाद आप सुनेंगे सब गणपति के गाने लगेंगे. वो खलास होने के बाद 15 दिन बाद सब माता के गाने लगेंगे. एंड पीपल हु डोंट हैव इंफॉर्मेशन दे थिंक सब एक ही है, सबको नमन करना है, सबको नमन करना है. यस, एवरीबॉडी मस्ट बी रिस्पेक्टेड. अभी आप सब आए हो यहाँ मंदिर में, ऐसा नहीं कि मैं सिर्फ राकेश प्रभु से अच्छा बात कर रहा हूँ. नो, एवरीबॉडी इज रिस्पेक्टेड. लेकिन मैं नमन सिर्फ ठाकुर जी को करूँगा. तो पता सब होना चाहिए. प्रॉब्लम वो है हमें कुछ पता नहीं है, लेकिन हमें लगता है सब पता है. मेरे को सब आता, मेरे को मत सिखाओ. Somebody in South Africa, one Gujarati guy, when I went to his house in the evening, he told me on my face, "Oh, you're not even half of my age. Don't try to teach me." बोला अरे क्या बात है? I said, "Okay, sorry. It was my mistake." तो ऐसा हो गया. वो क्या भला करने गए और अपना ही आप बहन मुझे मार. So let's read a little ahead. Oh. Avdara Shakti, would you like to help me?
God has a form, but not a material form like ours. His form is Satchit Ananda Vigraha, Brahma Samhita 5.1, a spiritual form full of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. Anyone who understands the transcendental nature of Krishna's form achieves perfection. This Krishna confirms in the Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tattvataha Bhaktadeham punarjanma naitimam eti sarjana. When I come, I do not accept a material body. My birth and activities are completely spiritual. And anyone who perfectly understands is liberated. When Krishna displayed himself as the perfect child before Mother Yashoda, he would break everything when she didn't supply him with butter. as if he were in need of butter. So God can display himself exactly like an ordinary human being, yet he remains the supreme personality of Godhead.
Yes, I was in somebody's talk in Africa itself, and when they see many other faiths people, they like to quote from their scripture. Like if I see many Christians, I will, try to quote something from their scripture that they think, yeah, it's the same, it's the same. It is not the same. So here, I've heard somewhere in somebody's talk that how they say in the Bible, one of the books of the Bible, that we are made in the image of God, or God is made in image of us.
Yeah, well,
We are made in.
let's make them in our image. That's
Okay.
God is speaking like that.
So God is a person. Even Bible is saying God is a person. It's another thing they don't understand it. We are not debating over that. Like how we just prove that no Hindu knows the Gita. So similarly, God is a person. And he's not a person like us. Last week we were discussing how God has his names. Or the week before that. And his names are... No, I was doing this Gujarati talk in Lilongwe. It's from there. His names are dependent on his pastimes, what he does, and his qualities. Lord is the master of the whole universe. That's why he's called Jagannath. He's playing with Mother Yashoda, or he's the son of Mother Yashoda. That's why he's called Yashodananda. One of his name is Sarvagya. Gya is short form for Gyan. पूजा आंटी, ज्ञान क्या होता है? बोलो यार, शर्माओ मत. नो आइडिया. आपको तो ज्ञान तो है ना थोड़ा तभी. हाँ. राकेश बाबू, ज्ञान.
आप बताओ.
नॉलेज.
नॉलेज हो तो चलो
बस. सर्व अक्षय बाबू, सर्व क्या होता है? सब कुछ. So जिसको सब कुछ का ज्ञान है, वो सर्वज्ञ है. वो सिर्फ भगवान ही है और कोई नहीं है. सबको ज्ञान है. मैं स्कूल में था, छोटा बच्चा, ये चैतन्य के जैसा. मेरे एक दोस्त का नाम था सर्वज्ञ. तो हम उसको नाम से बुलाते थे, लेकिन अभी समझता हूँ उसे भी उसके नाम का मीनिंग नहीं पता होगा. मैं ट्यूशन जाता था, वहां पे एक लड़की थी नेत्रा, बेचारी चश्मा पहनती थी. तो क्या नाम है और क्या गुण है? भगवान का ऐसा नहीं है. भगवान के नाम उनके गुण और उनके लीला से उत्पन्न होते हैं. चैतन्य आवाज नहीं करता, आ तो घर नहीं. So yes, so we are seeing here how Krishna is also saying in the 4th chapter, Janma karma chamay divyam evam yo vetti tattvatah. मुझे तत्व में जानना है. यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड मी इन ट्रूथ. ऐसा नहीं कि हाँ भगवान है, मत्था टेको, चलो प्रसाद लेना है. तो आप ये हरे कृष्ण यूनिवर्सिटी में आइए हर संडे, हम थोड़ा थोड़ा पढ़ाई करेंगे. नॉट ओनली ये, कौन से भी हरे कृष्ण यूनिवर्सिटी में संडे को होता है तो आप जा सकते हैं. सिर्फ टाइमिंग अलग होगा. Impersonalists cannot know God because they see him as an ordinary man. This is rascaldom. As Krishna declares in the Bhagavad Gita 9.11, Avajananti mam mudha. Only rascal accept me as ordinary human being. The Mayavadis say, oh, here is a child. How can he be God? Even Brahma and Indra became bewildered. They thought, how can this boy be the Supreme Lord? Let me test him. Or this pastime is in the Bhagavatam, 10th canto, how Lord Brahma and Indradev is testing Lord Krishna to see whether he is really God or si वैसे ही बना बनाया है. Let's go a little ahead and see what's to be said. अरे चल. Yeah. Sometimes a so-called incarnation of God declares, I am God. He should be tested to determine whether or not he actually is God. Okay, sorry. The Mayavadis are claiming, I am God, I am Krishna, I am Ram. Everyone becomes Krishna, everyone becomes Ram. Yet, people do not challenge their claims. If you are Ram, exhibit your supreme potency. Ram constructed a bridge over the Indian Ocean. Have you done that? Or have you done? What have you done? Sorry. I'm wearing glasses. I need to change them. At the age of 7, Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill. What have you done? When they are challenged by Krishna's pastimes, these rascals say, it is all fiction. It is all legend. Therefore, people accept any ordinary person as Ram or Krishna. This is nonsense. This nonsense is going on. And both those who declare themselves to be God and those who accept them as God will have to suffer for it. Anyone can claim to be God, and any foolish person can accept, but no one will benefit by serving a false God. Yes, doesn't need much explanation. हर कोई बोलता है जतो मत ततो पद, जो भी आप राह चुनोगे वो राह राइट है. आप भगवान, हम भगवान, ओम नमो नारायणाय. तो अपने आप को भगवान समझिए. आप किसी से तकलीफ नहीं होगी. फिर भूख लगती है, फिर हो गया. फिर भगवान को और किसी पे डिपेंड होना पड़ता है खाने के लिए. So that's the problem with modern. This is Prabhupada is explaining this about Hinduism. Nobody in the West claims to be God, trust me, because they have no clue who God is. So this is all Indian philosophy. सब भगवान है, सब कृष्ण, सब विष्णु है. हमें सिर्फ आँख बंद करके ध्यान करना है और हम जान जाएंगे हम विष्णु हैं. हमें ध्यान करके समझना चाहिए कि हम गधे हैं, हम विष्णु नहीं हैं और विष्णु नहीं बन सकते हैं. विष्णु एक ही. अभी मैं यहाँ पे ध्यान करके बैठूंगा. मैं ध्यान करता हूँ कि मैं चंद्रा बन जाऊंगा. चंद्रा अकेला ही चंद्रा हो सकता है. राकेश अकेला ही राकेश हो सकता है. मैं ध्यान करता हूँ मैं राकेश बन जाऊंगा, तो मुझे उसका ऑफिस जाके उसका काम करना पड़ेगा. वो मुझसे होगा नहीं. So you cannot become God or Krishna or Ram. And if you really claim, Prabhupada is saying here, अगर आप क्लेम करते हो कि अब मैं कृष्णा हूँ, मैं राम हूँ, तो उन्होंने जो किया है वो करके तो दिखाओ. वो होता नहीं है हमसे, लेकिन बोलना, मुंह चलाना सबको आता है. तो 5 मिनट है, देखते हैं कितना होता है. Even if I go over time, I'll finish this one. Now this is very simple. This is from the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a pastime. हमने ऊपर पढ़ा. We read upstairs how Lord Brahma and Lord Indra wanted to test Krishna. So here Lord Brahma is testing, and in the next paragraph, Lord Indra will be testing. Akshay, you want to read? Please.
Once Lord Brahma thought that Krishna might also be such a false god. He observed that a male boy in Vrindavan, India, was accepted as a supreme lord and that he was performing extraordinary activities. So Brahma decided to make a test. He took all the Krishna's scales and claimants and tried them. When Brahma returned to the Vrindavan after 1 year and saw the same place and payments still there, he could understand that Krishna had expanded himself by his unlimited potency into so many slaves and boys that boys one's mothers could not detect that their sons were Krishna's expansion. Third, the mothers could not explain why they every evening when their boy returned home from the fields, after affection for them increasing more and more, finally Brahma surrendered to Krishna, composing very nice players in glorification of the God, of the Lord.
Yes. So this, if you read the 14th chapter in the Krishna book, is about this pastime of how Lord Brahma was thinking, what's this small boy? He's doing so many not ordinary or extraordinary pastimes, lilas. So he said, let me test him. So he took his Lord Krishna and Balaram, they went to the forest every day with the cows. He took the calves, calves, children of the cows. He took the calves and Krishna's friends and he hid them in some place. There are different versions. If you watch Little Krishna, they are in the clouds. Bhagavatam says it hid them in the cave somewhere in top of the mountain. We are followers of Bhagavad, so in the mountain. And this is 1 hour, 1 year on our time. So he just went back and he came back and he's saying, I hid them, but I see them play again with Krishna. How is that possible? ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? वो तो मैं छुपा के आया हूँ उनको, ये यहाँ क्या कर रहे हैं? So he went and saw, check किया, देखता वो उधर से उठा के लाया कि नहीं. तो उधर चेक किया, उधर अभी तक वो सोए पड़े थे उसके कृष्ण के दोस्त और उनकी गैया. And then he understood, okay, ये नॉर्मल बच्चा नहीं है, ये एबनॉर्मल बच्चा भी नहीं है, ये एक्स्ट्रॉर्डिनरी बच्चा है. तभी जाके उन्होंने कृष्ण जी से माफ़ी मांगी और प्रभुपाद यहाँ लास्ट लाइन में लिखते हैं, कंपोजिंग वेरी नाइस प्रेयर्स इन ग्लोरिफिकेशन ऑफ द लॉर्ड, उसे ब्रह्म संहिता कहते हैं. अभी हम आगे पढ़ेंगे. Let's read little ahead. We don't have much. We have another 2 paragraphs maximum. Similarly, Indra became bewildered when Krishna told his father Nanda Maharaj, there is no need to perform sacrifices to Indra because he is under the order of the Supreme Lord. Krishna did not say to Nanda Maharaj, I am the Supreme Lord, but he said Indra is under the order of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, he has to supply you with water. So there is no need for performing yajna or sacrifice to Indra. When the sacrifice to Indra was stopped, he became furious. Furious means angry, super angry, and tried to punish the inhabitants बोले तो वहाँ रहने वाले of Vrindavan by sending incessant torrents of rain for 7 days. बहुत सारी वर्षा. Vrindavan was nearly drowned in water. So great was the downpour. But Krishna, a child of about 7 years, immediately lifted Govardhan hill and invited all the residents of Vrindavan, together with their animals, to take shelter under the hill. Krishna held up the hill for 7 days and nights without taking any food or rest, just to protect the residents of Vrindavan. Thus, Indra understood that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. यहाँ इंद्रा को भी पता चला है भगवान जी है, वो छोटा बच्चा नहीं है. हमें लगता है हमारा छोटा बच्चा कितना कृष्ण के जैसे शांत बैठा है. उसे थोड़ा 10 साल दो, उसको पता चलेगा वो कौन है. So yes, we saw how Brahma and Indra both were thinking Krishna is not God. Less test and they got what was required. And we have so many gods in our understanding. I am God, you are God, everybody is God. All nonsense, Prabhupada said. In this way, the Srimad Bhagavatam warns us that if even great personalities like Brahma and Indra can sometimes be bewildered by Maya, the external manifestation of Krishna's energy, then what to speak of us? हम किस खेत की मूली हैं? अगर भगवान इंद्रदेव को, ब्रह्मदेव को येड़ा बना सकते हैं. I'm sure this should be the last paragraph. Chandra, please.
So God sometimes displays himself as God and sometimes as a human being. But the rascal impersonalists dismiss his pastimes as legend or mythology. Either they do not believe in the Shastras or they interpret them in their own way, using
Ardha Kukuti Nyay.
Nyaya, the logic of half a hen. Once a man kept a hen that delivered a golden egg every day. The foolish man thought it is very profitable, but it is expensive to feed this hen. Better that I cut off her head and save the expense of feeding her. Then I will get the egg without any charge. The impersonalists accept the Shastras in this way. They think, oh, this is not good. It is inconvenient. We shall cut this portion out. When Krishna says, one should see me everywhere, the rascal Mayavadis think it is very palatable. But when he says, give me everything, and
Give me everything.
give up everything, and surrender to me, they disagree. They accept what is convenient and reject what is not. But the acharyas did not distort the Shastras in this way. When Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna said, I accept whatever you have said.
Yes, Arjuna is saying, Karishe vachanam tava. मैं वो सब करूँगा जो आपके वचन ने कहा है. बोले तो आपने जो भी कहा है वो मैं करूँगा. Arjuna is not saying that, okay, you know, like Prabhupada is saying, explaining Ardha Kukuti Nyay, half-hand logic, सोने के अंडा देने वाली मुर्गी, तो उसको खिलाना भी पड़ता है. तो कोई बहुत बड़ा मूर्ख व्यक्ति था, उसे लगा अरे इसको खिलाना क्यों है, ऐसा गला काट देते हैं, सिर्फ अपने को अंडा मिलता रहेगा. तो अभी आप ही को पता है उसका गला काटा तो क्या हो जाएगा. ना रहेंगी मुर्गी, ना मिलेंगे अंडे. तो ऐसा है हमारे मायावादी लोग, उन्हें जो पसंद आता है शास्त्र में से वही वो लेते हैं और वही सब जगह लगाते हैं. कृष्ण कहते हैं, One should see me everywhere. सर्वस्य चाहम हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्था स्मृतिर ज्ञानम अपोहनम च. सर्वस्य चाह, मैं सर्वस्य हूँ. कहा हूँ? सबके हृदय में हूँ. हृदय सन्निविष्ट हो, इसलिए वो आ जाते हैं, मैं भी कृष्णा हूँ, आप भी कृष्ण है, हर कोई कृष्णा है. लेकिन जब भगवद गीता के अंत में कृष्ण कहते हैं सब कुछ छोड़, सब कुछ त्याग के मेरी शरण में आओ, वो उन्हें नहीं करना है, क्योंकि फिर अगर हम किसी के शरण में गए तो हम उनके अधीन हो जाते हैं. We become dependent on. They don't want to be. They want to be the boss. हम ही बड़े हैं. लेकिन अर्जुन ने ऐसा नहीं किया. अर्जुन did not do like that. अर्जुन follow Krishna as it is. इसलिए अर्जुन ने भी एंड में कहा, भगवद गीता के एंड में ही है, करिष्ये वचनम तव. मैं वही करूँगा जो आप कहेंगे. ना कि जो मेरी बुद्धि कहेंगी कि नहीं मुझे ये पसंद है तो मैं ये करता हूँ, वो पसंद है तो मैं वो करता हूँ, मुझे ये नहीं पसंद तो मैं ऐसे करूँगा जैसे मैंने सुना ही नहीं है। नहीं, जो गीता ने कहा है वही करना है। तो thank you very much everybody for coming today. Please keep coming like this every Sunday. Prabhupada said this is a university of spiritual knowledge, and we can share, we can talk, we can learn. So we have one more topic in this chapter and then we'll finish this chapter. I don't know when will we finish this chapter though. Anyways, the next topic's name is the absolute truth, full of knowledge. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.